In the heart of a peaceful village called Nyamekia, there lived a young boy named Kofi. Kofi was the son of a wealthy merchant, and his family's fortune was known across the land. He had a life full of comfort and luxury, with the finest clothes, large houses, and servants who catered to his every need. But for all his wealth, Kofi felt a sense of emptiness inside him. He longed for a love that was real, pure, and not influenced by his wealth. He dreamt of finding someone who would love him for who he truly was, someone who could connect with him on a deeper level. In the same village, there lived a beautiful girl named Afia. She was different from the other girls in the village. Afia was born blind and deaf, and the villagers often marveled at her grace and beauty despite her disabilities. Though she could not see the world's wonders or hear the songs of the birds, she had a spirit that shone brightly. Afia was gentle and kind to everyone, always offering a helping hand to those in need. She had a special way of feeling the world around her. She could sense the wind's movement on her skin and could feel the warmth of the sun on her face, and her other senses were sharp enough to navigate the village with ease. Despite her disabilities, Afia's life was filled with joy. She had learned to communicate without words, using touch, gestures, and the vibrations of the world around her. The village knew her as someone with a kind heart, and she had many friends who adored her. But Afia, too, longed for something that she could not yet understand. She had often heard people talk about love, but she had never experienced it herself. In her quiet world, she could not imagine what love looked like or felt like, but she hoped that one day someone would show her. One day, Kofi overheard the villagers talking about Afia's kindness and beauty. Curious, he asked his father about her. His father, having heard of Afia's gentle spirit, spoke highly of her. Kofi was intrigued. He wondered how someone who couldn't see or hear the world could still be so full of life and kindness. He decided that he wanted to meet Afia and learn more about her. Kofi, being used to getting what he wanted, didn't hesitate. He told his father, and with his father's blessing, Kofi made his way to Afia's home. When Kofi arrived, he found Afia sitting under a large baobab tree. She was holding a small stone in her hands, feeling its rough texture. As he approached, he hesitated for a moment, unsure of how to communicate with her. Afia, however, sensed his presence. She turned toward him and smiled, her face radiating warmth and kindness. Kofi was taken aback by her beauty and her peaceful aura. He sat down beside her, not sure what to say, but something inside him told him that there was no need for words. Kofi visited Afia every day. At first, their interactions were simple. He would sit with her, watching the way she felt the ground beneath her and how she touched the leaves of trees. As the days passed, Kofi started talking to her. He would tell her about his day, about the things he saw in the village, and about the people he had met. Though Afia couldn't hear his voice, she could feel the vibrations in the air when he spoke. She could sense his emotions, his hopes, and his thoughts. She was amazed at how deeply Kofi seemed to understand the world. In return, Afia shared her own experiences. She told Kofi, not with words, but with her hands and gestures, about the world she had built for herself, a world of touch, feeling, and emotions. She explained how she could see the sun's warmth or hear the laughter of children through their vibrations. Kofi was moved by her resilience and how she had learned to embrace life with so much joy despite her challenges. Slowly, Kofi began to realize that Afia's beauty wasn't just in her appearance, but in the way she saw the world. She saw with her heart, not with her eyes, and she heard with her soul, not with her ears. As their bond deepened, Kofi fell in love with Afia. He admired her strength, her ability to love without the need for sight or sound, but his love was not based on her disability. It was based on who she was as a person. He loved her gentle spirit, her wisdom, and her unwavering kindness. Kofi knew that he had found something far more valuable than wealth or fame. He had found a love that transcended all things. One day, as Kofi sat beside Afia under the baobab tree, he took her hand in his and said, "Afia, I love you. I have never met anyone like you. You are the most beautiful soul I have ever known. You have taught me what it means to see with the heart and hear with the soul. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Will you marry me?" Afia didn't hear Kofi's words, but she felt the depth of his love. She placed her hand on his chest, feeling the steady beat of his heart. She smiled softly, knowing that her soul had found its match. Without words, she nodded, and Kofi knew that she had accepted his love. The news of their love spread throughout the village. The villagers were amazed by the bond Kofi and Afia shared. They saw how their love wasn't based on the things that most people valued, money, beauty, or status, but on something deeper: trust, understanding, and a connection that went beyond the physical world. Many people were inspired by their love, seeing it as a symbol of true, unconditional affection. Kofi and Afia's wedding day was a grand celebration. Though Afia could not see the decorations or hear the music, she felt the joy in the air. She felt the love of the people who had come to witness their union. The ceremony was held beneath the baobab tree, where they had spent so many moments together. It was there that they had first shared their hearts, and it was there that they would begin their journey together as husband and wife. The couple lived a long, happy life. They had children, and together they built a life full of love, laughter, and understanding. Kofi made sure that Afia never felt alone, always guiding her through the world with tenderness and care. He learned to communicate with her in ways that went beyond words, and Afia taught him the true meaning of love, how it transcends sight, sound, and the material world. Their love was an example to all who knew them. It showed that true love isn't about the physical aspects of a person. It's about the connection between souls, the understanding of each other's hearts, and the shared experience of life. Kofi and Afia's love was a reminder that love is not seen with the eyes, nor heard with the ears, but felt deeply in the heart. Moral of the story: true love goes beyond appearances and abilities. It is about connection, understanding, and the bond between hearts. Parents, teach your children to look beyond the surface and appreciate the depth of a person's soul. A love that is built on trust, respect, and kindness is the most beautiful love of all.